not even there.
Mm.
They just put their Zoom on and then walked away. So I can't say for certain, honestly.
Mm. You just mentioned also you implemented things as we learned them, but for instance, I think the teacher discourse moves, right? Maybe that was like week 5 or 6 and stuff like that. So what are things the next time you teach you want to do differently right from the start?
So I want to actually do more cold calling right from the start. Of actually having students raise hands and calling on them, just so that's sort of an expectation of this is something that can happen in the classroom, and continue doing it throughout the whole class so that I actually get those responses. And depending on the class I teach, I would like to do more of the probing into students' reasoning, even if it's me getting a student to expand on what they've said, or getting another student to expand on what they said. I would really like to do that a bit more. Which the cold calling would help, because then I could start with one student and say, what do you think? And then turn to another and say, why do you think they think that? Which isn't really something that I established as something I would do in this class. So it felt uncomfortable to do that sort of stuff.
Mm. We just spoke a tiny bit about your students, but I want to speak a bit about you. Let me pull up something that I wanted to show you. I took a screenshot, went back and took a screenshot of the beliefs map that you shared with us at the start of the semester.
Mm-hmm.
And I was curious if anything has changed, or if you were to do it now, if it would look pretty similar. Don't worry, I'll give you a moment to take a look. I don't expect you to have it all memorized.
I think my beliefs would definitely be the same part, but I think I actually have improved on at least one or two of the things I put stars by. In particular, I think students do feel a bit more comfortable asking questions in class. I still have a ways to go, but I did get more students willing to ask questions and willing to say, I'm completely lost, can we start over? And actually doing that. There's definitely still some that I need to improve on, like contextualization sort of stuff, and showing how, like, critical thinking, how we use critical thinking in math. So there's still some I need to work on, but I think the beliefs map is relatively the same structure, and some of the ones that I thought I was doing worse on, I did manage to improve a bit on.
The students feeling comfortable asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
To what do you? I mean, there might not be a single reason for why you think that happened, but do you, I don't know, have at least anecdotally some feelings for how that came to be?
I think part of it is just like aggressively asking, does anybody have any questions? Like just always asking it, like every class, at least 2 to 3 times a class, I would ask, does anybody have any questions? And then making sure students realize that they could ask privately or publicly or to myself or the TA. So giving them a ton of avenues to asking questions, as well as when I got those questions, or let's see, then when I asked that sort of stuff, I gave a lot of time. I gave, I think, like 5 to 7 seconds there for students to actually ask something. And then in addition, whenever I got questions, I think I did a better job of not like blinking. So like if a student asked a question, like in the past, I know if a student asked a really obvious question, I would just be confused about where this was coming from. And I think that would show visibly. I think I did a bit better job of not having my confusion of where the confusion's coming from show.
Mm-hmm. With the beliefs map, let me ask more specifically, do you feel like your thoughts on how people learn or what teaching means to you have changed this semester, or are those still accurately captured by this this map?
So my thoughts on what teaching are, I think, are definitely still captured by this map. I don't know about the student, how students learn thing though. I think it's mostly still accurate, but it's not something the students, how the students learned wasn't something I focused too much in this beliefs map.
So then, not asking about the beliefs map, was there anything the PD shared with you about student learning that was new to you?
Yeah, like sort of how important it is to have students make the connections. Like, because I know we saw when we were examining a lot of teachers doing stuff, and I know they're not supposed to necessarily be exemplary stuff, nor are they supposed to be cautionary tales, but a lot of them, when they had a lot of positive student interaction, I noticed a lot of that was coming when students were able to draw on past experiences of like, well, this is what happened in a previous class, so I think this is what's going to happen now. I think that idea that it's showing people that it's all interconnected and that it builds on each other was something that I definitely realized this semester. Or realized was important to learning this semester. I guess I should say it better. I know it's all interconnected. I don't think I've emphasized it enough before.
Another, I hope you're not getting annoyed here, but another thing that you said in your first interview that I wanted to know if you would add things to that is sort of painting an image of like the perfect classroom, or what you want to be, what you want your classroom to look like. You said wanting students to be comfortable asking questions, comfortable being wrong, knowing that it's okay to be wrong. Students help each other. Everyone's involved in group work. Everyone feels like they can speak up. I assume all of those are still true.
Yeah, no, those are all definitely still true.
I was wondering, is there anything that you would add to that? I mean, that's already a long list, but I was just curious if there were any changes.
Not entirely. I think students willing to speak up in class, I'd want it to both be like in response to questions I have, as well as like questions they have or questions they have for each other. So more of that interactivity between classmates as opposed to just back and forth. I would like to see a bit more, or I think would be a good thing to see in the classroom, but most of those beliefs are true.